The San Diego Port just partnered with the nonprofit Alpha Project, giving the group a $50,000 grant to help reduce homelessness along the waterfront in downtown. But as overnight temps continue to drop, shelters are full as hope dwindles for funds to keep these shelters open year-round. Joining me are Alpha Project's president and CEO, Bob McElroy, and Dolores Diaz, Executive Director of the Regional Task Force on Homelessness. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks.
Bob, specifically, what will this joint agreement with the port do to help the homeless in San Diego?
Well, hopefully we're going to make a dramatic impact along the shoreline around the Embarcadero. We counted 3 or 4 days ago, it was over 100 people. We've already had 6 come in for services. What it does is it funds 2 full-time staff person outreach specialists, and then we'll add 2 more to our crew also. And it gives us time to spend with the individuals, do needs assessment on folks, develop a relationship, a conversation, instead of just going down and asking how you're doing today and leaving. How you doing today? And we're going to wait for an answer. We're going to be there to find out where you've come from, how you got here, and how do we get you out.
Okay. Now, I know the numbers of homeless in the county dropped slightly last year, but still I understand there's nearly 9,000 people who are homeless throughout the county, with more than 3,000 of those people living on the streets in the city of San Diego, and 1,000 of those people are actually living on the streets in downtown alone. So, Dolores, the Regional Task Force on the Homeless is getting ready to conduct its point-in-time annual homeless count at the end of the month. How do you go about counting? How do you go about this?
It's a volunteer effort. We're mandated to count every 2 years by the federal government. This is an off year, and this particular year we are sponsored by the Veterans Administration, by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs, and it's a volunteer effort. People come out, they sign up, we assign them to deployment centers, and we get out and count on the 24th of January is the plan, between 4 and 7 a.m.
Why is this count so important? How are these numbers or this data used?
Well, we have to keep in mind it is a snapshot of what we see on a particular day, within a certain amount of hours. So it just gives us an idea, an estimate of what the unsheltered count is like when we count on the street. But what we do with that information, there's 2 parts to the count. We count, and then we survey the homeless. We do a little bit of a drill down we want to know more about the people that are on the street. And we use that data to report to the federal government for the annual homeless assessment report that is done at the federal level so that we can know how we're doing as a country. But locally, we use that data to see how we are going to design our services, to look at what are the gaps, those kinds of things.
I see. Now, Bob, when Filner was mayor, he tried to make the homeless shelters year-round. After he left, city officials said there's no more money to do this, or there isn't enough money or any money to do this. What is the situation right now? How much money do you need to keep this open, and where do we stand?
Well, it's about $1 million, maybe a little bit more, depending on how much for utilities and stuff. We are a tent in the middle of the street, but we're scheduled to close on March 31st. So that's kind of tragic. Like I said, we've got 225 men and women. It's the only shelter program for women. And most of those folks are disabled. So just little things like, not having access to a refrigerator for your insulin for our diabetics. Those people get sick, they're going to use the emergency room, the taxpayer is going to incur the cost. So it's so much more beneficial to have it open as opposed to closed, but as of right now, that's the schedule.
So the $1 million is going to be spent either in emergency room visits or public services.
Absolutely.
Either way, I see. Dolores, city officials, their goal to end homelessness in San Diego in 2012 kind of went by the wayside, and now it's been pushed to 2016. And I understand Salt Lake City and Phoenix, they have actually gotten close to reaching their similar goals on this with millions of dollars of federal grant money. Are we on track for reaching this goal?
I think that we have a ways to go. It's going to take the collective impact of everyone's resources, the city, the county, philanthropy, individuals putting all their resources together to address this issue. In Phoenix, for example, they ended veteran homelessness. It can be done in San Diego. We just have to get on the same page.
Okay, and Bob, what can we learn? What can we learn here from those cities?
Well, everybody came together. The political will was there. They were committed to doing something about the problem, and they did it. I mean, we have to have that same commitment here. And if we do have it, we have a solvable problem, especially in downtown San Diego, the highest concentration of homeless in the county. We have a solvable problem there. It's just the commitment to do it.
All right. Bob McElroy and Dolores Diaz, thank you so much for this update.
Our
Thanks,
pleasure.
Greg.
Thank you.